Everybody says they're burned out, exhausted, mentally drained. But what if the problem isn't that you're doing too much? What if it's that what you're doing no longer means anything to you? Because sometimes you're not burned out, you're living disconnected from the purpose. Welcome back to the Marcus Allgood Show. I appreciate everybody listening and watching. Hope everybody shares the show and gets some value out of this. And let's get into it. The topic for today is you're not burned out, you're living without the purpose. And the big difference between burnout and purpose drain is real burnout does exist. Sometimes it's physical exhaustion, emotional overload, overwork, chronic stress. Like all those tie in together with actual real burnout. But there's another kind of exhaustion, which is purpose exhaustion. That feeling when you're busy but empty, productive but disconnected, functioning but uninspired. And I kind of go through it with the different businesses that I've had when you think that you're burnt out, but a lot of times you just don't find your purpose in it anymore. And I had that with the gym. The gym was going good, and I just didn't have it in me anymore to keep going. And I've gotten through that with the coffee shop. I'm trying to rebuild it back up and get out of that funk. Sometimes when you're not making money on something, it's really hard to whether figure out if this is your purpose or not. And so we're trying to figure it out and trying to make it happen. But one of the truth bombs is rest can heal exhaustion, but rest can't fix emptiness. And to be able to fix the emptiness, you gotta you gotta get mental, you gotta get mentally fit, you gotta figure it out, you gotta figure out what you're doing. So why does purpose matter so much? Humans need more than survival. We need meaning, contribution, movement, growth, direction. And without purpose, even easy days feel heavy. With purpose, even hard days feel meaningful. I go through that with the shop too. And just some days it just feels like it's just so hard. And you're like, oh my gosh, why am I even doing this? And then some days you're like, this is why I'm doing it. You get that purpose, your regulars are coming back, you're in a good mood and people are hanging out and the people are coming through the drive through, it's going really good. But then you get days where just hardly anybody shows up and you're just like, oh my gosh, why am I doing this? Are we doing something wrong? Like, is this my purpose? Is it not? And everybody goes through it with every business. It just depends on if you can stick through it and keep it going, if you can actually make the change that's needed to change to get the boost back that you need. Hard work doesn't drain people nearly as much as meaningless work. People can work 12 hours on something they love and feel alive, but 3 hours of disconnected from meaning, crushing. You go to a factory setting and you don't want to be there, that 3 hours is going to feel like 12 hours. But let's say you're coding a website or something, and that's really what you like to do. 12 hours can go by super fast, and you're like, oh my gosh, haven't even got up, haven't even ate, haven't done anything. And it just depends on really if you like what you're doing or not. But if you don't like what you're doing, those days can feel super, super long, and it might even only be 8 hours. Like, you got to find something that you can put some purpose behind, and when you're doing it, time flies by. And there are going to be days where time doesn't fly by, and that's okay. Not every day is going to be like that, but a lot of the days are probably going to be that way if you find your actual purpose. Today, people have more comfort, more convenience, more entertainment, and way more distractions than we did before. Yet they feel more lost, more anxious, more empty, and way more disconnected. So, why is that? Because distraction replaced purpose. People escape through scrolling, binge watching, shopping, numbing, constant stimulation over and over and over and over again. And kids nowadays, they're constantly stimulated. If you put the cartoons on, it's every 3 seconds that the screen is changing. And it wasn't like that. The colors are vibrant and it's made to stimulate your brain over and over and over and over. So imagine going to sit through like a factory job. Like these kids are not going to be able to do it. We don't have an energy crisis. We have a meaning crisis. And what that means is the fact that a lot of people aren't working in their meaning. They're just going to work, being bored, and just get tired. I mean, when I'm bored, if I'm someplace, I sit there and yawn. if I go to a talk and I don't like the talk, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, can this hurry up and get over with? And it just seems like it's going on, and I'm trying my hardest not to fall asleep. Signs you might be living without purpose is you wake up uninspired, you wake up with an alarm and you snooze it all the time. Days blur together. My days blur together, but I still have a purpose. You constantly seek escape. Nothing feels exciting. You feel restless but passive. You feel emotionally flat. Success doesn't feel fulfilling. Not because you're lazy, because something deeper is missing. You're not always tired because you need rest. Sometimes you're tired because your soul is just underused. And to find that, it's gonna be hard to find, but you got to keep going out there. You got to keep exploring. You got to check out different jobs. You got to check out different careers. You got to do some research on your off time, but you got to figure it out at some point in time. If not, you're not gonna die because of it, but you just won't be totally fulfilled throughout the life. So why do people avoid purpose? Purpose sounds inspiring, but it's scary because purpose requires the responsibility, the commitment, the risk, the courage, the self-discovery. It takes work. It's not in the comfort zone. It's outside the comfort zone. So people avoid purpose because of the fear of failure. What if I'm not good enough? And also, not just the fear of failure, but also the imposter syndrome. What if nobody's going to listen to me? Why should somebody listen to me over Tony Robbins? Or why should somebody listen to me over Jim Rohn or some of the greats? It's just because you are doing it for yourself and forever, whoever else is out there listening, that you're going to do it for. Fear of change. Purpose disrupts the comfort. Fear of judgment. People may not understand your path. And often feel that. And especially with this podcast, I really, and especially with making content, you know, are people going to make fun of me? Are people not understanding what I'm doing? You know, the reason why I work out so much, like all sorts of different things of fear of judgment. But I really try and put it behind me and just don't even worry about it. Can I say I never worry about it? Not at all. I still worry about it. Fear of looking inward. Purpose starts with honesty. You have to get honest with yourself and really think about what you're looking for in your life. So purpose isn't hidden from you. It's often buried beneath comfort and distraction. So dive into that uncomfortable zone and start figuring it out, and put away TikTok, put away Instagram if you have to, or just schedule it that you can look at, TikTok for 30 minutes and set a timer and move on. Once the timer goes off, move on from it. Start waking up without an alarm. Start waking up early and going to bed on time. Go to bed around 9:30. Get up at 4 or 5. So what purpose actually looks like is an important distinction. Purpose is not always fame, millions, grand missions. Purpose is often serving others, building something, growing, showing up fully, using your gifts intentionally. Purpose is less about prestige and more about alignment. And that really hits home for a lot of people, because we see that all these people making millions or these grand missions or all this fame, and we think, man, they have purpose. And a lot of them don't even have purpose in their lives. They're just, a lot of them are unhappy. They're just working for the dollars or just working for the fame. They're not out there serving people. They're not out there building anything. They're not out there growing. They're not changing. They're not showing up fully in all aspects of their life. Purpose isn't something you find one day. It's something you build through intentional living. And being intentional about it is one of the most important things that you can do. And to be intentional, you have to listen to podcasts. You have to listen to self-development book, or listen to self-development books, or go read a self-development book. But you got to figure out where it's at in your life and how to get self-development and, purpose in your life through the different books and different podcasts, and just talking with mentors and just talking with different people who you think might have purpose in life. So first, you got to get honest. What feels empty? Follow your energy. What makes you feel alive? Serve. Contribution creates meaning. Stop escaping. Less distraction equals more clarity. Move before you feel ready. Purpose reveals itself through action. Purpose rarely appears while you're standing still. It's never ever going to just run up on you, kind of like a hyena. A lion is, a lion's just not going to wait for a hyena just to walk up on him. He's going to go out there and chase it. He runs really fast, and then it's not going to take very long, but it's a little bit different than your purpose. It's going to take a while. It could take years. It could take 10, 20 years. It doesn't matter, but just keep chasing after it. So in the closing challenge today, if you feel burned out, ask yourself something deeper. Am I exhausted or am I disconnected? Because life gets heavy when it loses meaning. You don't always need less work. Sometimes you need work that actually matters. That's the pod. I appreciate everybody listening and share the show. Have a great day.